It was the first major battle of the Civil War that was fought in Georgia. Known as the Gettysburg of the South, it had the highest number of casualties, second only to the Battle of Gettysburg. I've never been interested in history, but about 10 years ago, everything changed. I gained an interest in the paranormal and began searching for what I knew was always there, the spirits. They're all around us, whether we know it or not. What can they tell us that isn't written in history books? Will we find out the deepest, darkest secrets of the battle?
History is what we're after. We may not find evidence of the paranormal every time, but something much greater, the hidden truths of yesteryear that give us a new appreciation for American history.
Right now, we're on top of the Wilder Monument. It was built in 1903 by the survivors who served under Colonel Wilder. The battle fought on it, the men who died on it. The Battle of Chickamauga, which is Cherokee for River of Death, was fought September 19th through 20th, 1863, between the Army of the Cumberland, led by General William Rosecrans, and the Army of Tennessee under General Braxton Bragg. By 9:30 in the morning, the battle resumed, and the Confederates found themselves in an open field trading shots with the Union Army. But, unbeknownst to them, the Union Army had spent the night building barricades, but they didn't have the upper hand for very long. The people who once inhabited it,
Between 1776 and 1794, the Cherokee and the American settlers were constantly at odds, warring over the traditional Cherokee land.
and the stories of the generals who led these men into battle. General Longstreet, it's so interesting, he was General Robert E. Lee's right-hand man. In fact, he was nicknamed Lee's warhorse. General Bragg was born in North Carolina to Thomas and Margaret Bragg. Now, Margaret Bragg, interesting story, was actually put in jail for murdering an African free man. And there's actually this vicious rumor going around that General Bragg himself was born in jail. And he often quarreled with Ulysses S. Grant, which affected his career later on. So let's get to the real reason why we're here, the paranormal, the ghosts, and the legends. Now, Chickamauga Battlefield isn't like any other battlefield. Yes, it has its residual sounds from the battle, but there are other stories that are attached to this land. It is one of the oldest and largest of the battlefield parks, so there is no doubt that some of these stories and legends go back almost 200 years or more. The first legend of Old Green Eyes was a Confederate soldier who had his head blown off by a cannon.
Legend of Old Green Eyes predates the Civil War and is a much more sinister one. A human-like beast with glowing green eyes and waist-length light-colored hair, with a huge misshapen jaw from which fangs protrude.
I saw my very, very first full-bodied apparition. I'm Jessica Johns,
And I'm Sarah Haftings.
and this is the new Wartime Paranormal, the Battle of Chickamauga.